All right. A little bit of some allergies, ladies and gentlemen. So if you hear me sniffling a lot, that's normally why. But yes, good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Wednesday. All right, there we go. Just got to get everything all set up. Let's make sure the audio works. All right, beautiful. Beautiful. Audio is working. Audio is indeed working. Hold on one second. Let's make sure we are live on the X. Are we live on the X? Unknown says, good morning, boss. Good morning, Unknown. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. This fine, beautiful morning on God's green earth. Hope you're doing well. All right, let's make sure we're live on the Twitch. Let's make sure the audio works on X. Audio works on X. Perfect. Okay. Audio works on Twitch. Yep. Audio works on Twitch. Perfect. 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 Good. 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 Getting everything all set up and ready to go. Oop. Hold on. Got to fix a little glitchy. Happens from time to time. Bop. Right there. And boom. Right there. Bop. There we go. Happy April, man. Happy April, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we don't do that here. No. I don't know. I never was a fan of the April Fool's thing, man. I never liked it. April Fool. Yeah, no. I was never a fan of it, man. Like people, it's like people get my hopes up about stuff, and then it's like, then they're like, oh yeah, nah, man, April Fools. I'm like, really?
It's like that.
No, you want to know what's funny? Like one of my friends who like I've been like he's like I really want to get married. I really want to have kids. I'm like, yeah, dude, go ahead, man. You know, he tells me he messaged me literally this morning, said I got a girlfriend. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Yes, sir. April Fools. Oh, come on, bro. I was rooting for you. Come on, man. April Fools. April Fool in the nose. He's like, all right, my bad. I'm like, yeah, you're bad. He's like, can't complain. Thoughts on BCG? I entered at 323. Most definitely. Let me just get everything all set up, and I will give you my thoughts on BCG very shortly. Let me just get everything all set up. Yeah, man. I don't know. Never was an April Fool's guy. Never was an April Fool's guy much. You know what I mean? I like being truthful. I do. I don't like messing with people like that. Man, not my thing. I like like I don't like to April Fool the indelibles, man. I love the indelibles. I don't want to April Fool the indelibles. The tribe, yo. We don't do that. They're the squad. The squad. You know what I mean? Like we don't do that. Noah. All right. CYCN 152%. 152% right there. Hold on one second. Let's get everything all set up. Just getting everything all shared up and ready to go. Getting the announcements out. I got to get the announcements out and stuff like that. All right. All right, there we go. Boom. There we are. There we go. Getting everything all set up. CYCN ran as high as 165%. I know that for a fact. Yes, sir. All right. All right. All right. There we go. There we are. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. Get this all set up over here. Bot right there. Legal says, good morning, Indelibles. Good morning, Legal. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. I'm chilling here. I hope you're doing well. MAAA Ma writes, "Hello, doubles. Hello, hello. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, hello. Good morning." Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everybody's doing well. Just getting everything all ready to go. All ready to go. Let me share this on the YouTubes. The YouTubes. Yes, sir. There we go. Bop right there. Hold on. Let me share everything on X. Hold on. Let me share it on everybody.
Let's get it going.
Woo!
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it going. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. It's that time again. It's that time.
Yeesh. Yeesh. All right. Night, Marty. Good morning, Marty. He says, "Hello, deep doubles. Can you please check CYCN? I'm gonna check BCG and then I'll check CYCN afterwards because we just got one request just now earlier for BCG, so I'm gonna check that. I'll check CYCN shortly afterwards, and yeah, we'll do our thing. And then Night Row. Good morning. Good morning, buddy. Good morning. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are doing your thing. You know? Hope you guys are doing your thing. And I hope you guys enjoyed the wonderful, and I mean wonderful, shorts that we've been putting up as of late. A lot of people have been enjoying those, so we're going to be doing a lot more of those, ladies and gentlemen. A lot more of those. But yeah, I hope you guys have been enjoying that stuff. You know what I mean? Always good. Always good. Always good. Always good. All right. Let's see here. Just got to get everything all set up. Bop, right there. Get that posted. Mm. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. All right. There we go. Bop, right there. Okay. Perfect. All right. Let's get this over here. All right. Bop, right there. Get that all set up. Boom. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. There we go. Good. All right. All right. Everything's looking good. All right. All right. All right. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. Let me just grab my oranges real quick. Let me grab it. Come on. Come here, baby. Yeah. Mm. Here we go. All right. Let's get this intro started. Let's get to BCG. What's up, guys? It's Double Nicks, and welcome to another episode of Microcap Mornings. I am your host with the most. They call me DBL Nicks in the house, a.k.a. the Rainmaker.
I love that part.
And I am here with the lovely Serengeti specialist herself. She likes to hang around the tall weeds, the high trees, the low seas, hitting them high knees. Sometimes she likes 2 cups of coffee. Other times she likes to jet ski. Other times she likes to regular ski. Other times she gets shot out the cannon and she goes, wee! Other times she likes to party and go to Arby's and watch videos of puppies and kitties. Other times she likes to go into the stock market and she'll find them ABCDs. Other times she likes to go and hang around and, sometimes she'll go to Wendy's, sometimes Mickey D's, sometimes Burger King. You never know. All right, but she loves to steal my lo mein. We call her DV Moms. Yes, sir. All right. And let's take a look at some wonderful stonks today. All right. So BCG, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so BCG, as of now, it did have a nice run earlier in the day. All right, it did move up quite a bit. Let me take a look over here, actually, because we called BCG earlier in the morning. Early in the morning, BCG called BCG prior to its 81% run. All right. It did have a nice 81% run early this morning. All right. We called it at 3:03 in the morning. We actually called it yesterday. Prior to that, we called it yesterday at 4:55 p.m. this morning at 22% prior to its run today, this morning, at 81%. So, as of now, BCG BYND Capital Group shares are trading higher after the company reported a year-over-year increase in Q4 financial results. So, they got that going on right there. So, what's going on with them is basically they didn't have much volume back here, but they did start moving up around here. All right. They started moving up around here, had a bit of consolidation along the VWAP right over here, curled their way on up a little bit more right over. Hold on, let me move over here. Started curling their way up, bop, right over here, and then started curling again, formed another pennant right here, then created a nice little A to B, B to C, C to D right here before making another pennant right over here. Now, what they did was they fell below the VWAP again. So they fell below the VWAP. They've been kind of like going up and down between the VWAP. They've been consolidated to the VWAP. This is the only time it's really gone down a bit more below the VWAP. So as of now, it really needs to break this descending wedge over here, and it needs to break the VWAP at 335 for it to really be somewhat schmexy to mya. That's what we got going on for the stunk. That's what we got going on. But we'll take a look over here at some support and resistance lines right over here. So as of now, it has support at the $3.13 mark, has resistance at the VWAP, which is 335. Then it has resistance at 341, and then 385 right there. That's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. So it needs to break the VWAP, needs to break this descending wedge, and needs to break above the resistance line. But for now, we're just going to say this: BCG, all right, has a 7 million float, 17 million volume, so it has the volume down pat, has the news that they did trade higher after the company reported a year-over-year increase in Q4 financial sales, and they did go up as high as 81%. So that's what they got going on, ladies and gentlemen. That is what they got going on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So BCG needs to break above the descending wedge and the VWAP at 335 right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it needs to do right there. BCG needs to break above the VWAP at 335 for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. Has to break above that descending wedge and the VWAP at 335. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's take a look at CYCN. CYCN, all right, which was requested by Marty. We did call this stock earlier in the morning. All right, so what we had going on over here, we called the stock prior to its run up at least 100. Well, actually, no, that's a new high. 179%. 179% right here. So we called CYCN prior to that 179% run right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So let me put this over here. Hold on. There we are. Yes. All right, so CYCN, we called it prior to on our private Discord, ladies and gentlemen, prior to its 179% run so far today. All right, we spotted it for them, and yeah, that's what we got going on there. All right, hold on. All right, beautiful. All right, so as of now, CYCN, let's take a look at it over here. CYCN, Cyclerion Therapeutics Inc. up 175% right now. Had a high of 179 just now. All right, and then has some news going on that their shares are trading higher after the company announced that it entered into a definitive merger agreement with Corsana Biosciences, right? And they have some Q4 earnings that are unconfirmed due in 13 days on April 14th after the market closed. So they have that going on as well. So that's pretty much what they got going on. They have a 3 million float, 66 million volume, which means that the volume is a total of 22 times that of the float right now. So that's pretty good. That's excellent news for that stock right there. It is moving up a little bit, little by little. It's moving up. Had a bit of a double top right here, and one right over here that is kind of forming. So it has to be careful. But as of now, CYCN did have a nice run up 179%, up 179, and has that going on right there. Let's get this over here. Bop right there. Bop and bop right there, and then curled its way on up right over here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, as of now, CYCN has to break above the resistance line over here at $4.30. Has to break above that. It's curling above the pennant, but it needs to break that area. So CYCN had a high of 179%. CYCN had a high of 179%. All right. Needs to break the resistance line, resistance, because it is above the VWAP, resistance line at $4.30. Has to break above $4.30. That's the resistance for it to really be schmexy to mya. And needs to remain friends. Needs to remain friends with the trend. There we go. Beautiful. All right. So CYCN, as of now, needs to remain friends with the trend and break that resistance at $4.30. Let's get a share party going. Let's get a share party, share party, share party. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Bobo Beep says howdy, howdy, Bobo. Hearing you, Lima Charlie. Copy that, Bobo. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Much love, man. Much love. Yes, sir. All right. So, as of now, that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. All right. So, as of now, CYCN curled up nicely. Had a bit of a double top here at the $4.30 mark, and has since really just been doing that right now. Has to break above $4.30 for it to continue to be schmexy to me. Needs to remain friends with that trend right there. Right? So it has to do that for it to really be schmexy to me. Let's take a look at some other stonks here. Let's take a look at DEFT. DEFT, as of now, had a sort of, I guess you could call it a cup and handle, sort of. All right. Had a bit of a cup right here. Bop, cup, little tiny handle, very tiny handle, and then just shot up like this. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to call that. I mean, it looks like a cup and handle. All right, so DeFi Technologies Inc. up 47% as of now. Shares are trading higher after the company reported a year-over-year increase in preliminary fiscal year 2025 revenue results. Also, the company reported a year-over-year increase in preliminary Q4 revenue results. So they got that going on right there. But their Q4 earnings are unconfirmed and due in 13 days from now on April 14th, just before the market open. That's what's going on here. As of now, it is forming a bit of a top tail. We don't like the top tails. We like the bottom tails, ladies and gentlemen. So as of now, DEFT needs to curl up and remain friends with the trend on that lovely little cup and handle there, that little tiny one right there, the little tiny baby one right there. All right. So as of now, DEFT, right? Cup and handle, bull pattern. Can it remain friends with the trend? Let's see what happens there. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. But it looks like it's curling its way back up a little bit. It looks like it's trying to curl its way back up. We'll see what goes on. It's trying to remain friends with that trend right now. Looking good. Looking good so far. Yes, sir. There we go. Up 46%. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yes, sir. There we are. Woo! Woo! There we go. There we go. Let's get a share party going on. Let's get to 300. 300, 300, 300. Let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yes, sir. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. What else we got? What else we got? How's CYCN holding up? CYCN. CYCN, as of now, trying to test that little high a day right there. It's testing that high a day at it's testing that resistance line at $4.30. Testing the resistance at 4.30. That's what it's got going on right now. It's trying to remain friends with the trend right now. CYCN trying to remain friends with the trend. Trying to remain friends with the trend and is testing the resistance at 4.30 right now. So right now it's trying to test that. It's trying to stay above the little uptrend there. We'll see what goes on, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what goes on. All right, let's see what else we got here. What else we got? Let's see about RYM. RYM has a 1 million float, 58,000 volume. Let's take a look at it. All right, let's see if it's moving up on low volume or not. RYM, not rum. RYM, not rum. All right, so obviously, as I said before, low float on, or excuse me, low volume on the stonk right here. Not particularly schmexy. I normally don't like those types of stonks, but you know, I want to take a look at it and see if it's at least moving upward a little bit, and at least say, hey, you know, it's got low volume, but it is moving up. But you know, it's got low volume, so you know, you got that going on right there. Very choppy on the price action right over here. A lot of chop, a lot of chop, a lot of chop. Rhythm shares are trading higher after the company announced amendments to its existing trademark and recipe license agreements with an indirect wholly owned subsidiary of Green Thumb Industries. So that's really good. That's pretty good for it right now. All right, it is moving up $25.95. It's a little pricey, but it is very choppy in terms of price action. So not exactly something I trust. Has good news, but needs a lot more volume than what it's got. So otherwise, you know what I mean? So RYM, choppy, needs volume. All right, choppy and expensive, needs volume. Needs volume to remain friends with the trend because it broke above the VWAP there. It did break above that VWAP. It is on an uptrend, but it's on an uptrend on some low volume. So that's really what I have a problem with there. It's using low volume for that, so it's not really trustworthy. See how it's making it top tail? I don't like that. I like the bottom tails, man. Like the bottom tails. DEFT, DEFT. Let's take a look over here. DEFT still climbing up 50%, climbing up on that little cup and handle right there. On that little baby cup and handle. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. DEFT. DEFT climbing up on the cup and handle bull pattern right there. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a share party going on. Let's get a share party, share party, share party. Let's get to 400, 400, 400, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. There we go. Beautiful. Ooh. Marty says, good morning, Bobo Beebs. There you go. There you go. Oh, yeah. DEFT still climbing up 52% now. DEFT still climbing up 52%. There we go. DEFT still climbing up 52%. There we go. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. All right. Let's see how it's doing. Let's see how we're doing here. How we doing? How do we do? Yes, sir. All right. Let's get it. Let's see about CYCN. How's CYCN holding up? CYCN. How's CYCN doing? Let me get the little thingy over here. Bop right there. All right. CYCN now up 185%. 185% on CYCN. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get some likes and shares up in here. Let's get some likes and shares up in here and all that good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 500, 500, 500, 500. Yes, sir. All right. Give me 1 second right here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Ooh. 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 There we go. All right. 1 second. All right. All right. All right. All right. There we go. Well, Beef says, howdy, Marty. Yes, sir. All right, there we go. So CYCN hit a new high, up 185%. That was the new high. A little bit of a resistance at 444. It's okay. You can break through it. CYCN hit a new high. Let me get some support and resistance lines over here for the stunk right here. This lovely little stonky. There we go. Beautiful. Perfect. All right. Has a high a day at 459. Has to break above the 185% mark right there. CYCN. New high at 185%. Called it, baby. There we go. Called it. There we go. Boom. Right there. Right there. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. There we go. There we go. Woo! All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, CYCN had a high of 185%. Has to break the resistance at $4.44. CYCN has to break the resistance at $4.44 and break the high of day at 459. 459 right there. All right. For it to be schmexy to mya. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right. All right. All right. Woo. All right. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 500. 500, 500, 500. Yes, sir. All right. Let's see about how BCG is doing. How's BCG holding up? Is BCG doing okay? It's trying a little bit. It is trying. It has to break above 313. It's pulling back a little bit. Pulled back quite a bit. So it has to break 313. Has to break 313. BYND Capital Group shares are trading higher after the company reported a year-over-year increase in Q4 financial results. So they got that going on right there. Needs to break above 313. Needs to break 313. BCG needs to break above the 313 mark for it to be so much maxi to mya. And then the VWAP at 334. And the VWAP at 334 for it to be so much maxi to mya. That's what it needs to do right there. That's what it needs to do. Otherwise, you know how it is, ladies and gentlemen. Needs to break above that area, ladies and gentlemen. Needs to break above that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right, all right, all right. CYCN now 207%. Oh, my. Oh, my. 210%. Oh, my. CYCN broke the high a day, now up 217%. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gration. CYCN now up 214%. 214%. new high a day. Hit a new high of day at 496. 496 right there. Yes, sir. All right. CYCN, new high a day. 214%. 221 now. Oh, my. Oh, my. 221. There we go. Hit a new high of 221%. CYCN now up 221%. Boom, baby. There we go. That's what we got. That's what we like right there. Yes, sir. Let's get a share party going on. Let's get to 600. Let's get to 600, 600, 600. All right. Oh, migration. Oh, my. Woo. Woo. There we go. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. CYCN hit a new high of 221. 221, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Call me the Macho Man Randy Savage because I'm saying, oh, yeah. All right. CYCN 221% right there. Yes, sir. Just have to write it down there for myself right there. Yes, sir. All right, let's get a share party going. Let's get to 600. All right, CYCN new high of day now has to break above 509 right there. CYCN new high of day at 221%. All right, has to break above high of day at 509 for it to really be schmexy to mya. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, all right, all right. Whew. Okay. All right. It's testing the high of day, by the way. It's testing, it's testing. It's testing, it's testing. 225. 225. Oh, my. It smacked 225 gently. Like his name was Akon. You know what I mean? CYCN 225. 228. Excuse me. 228. My bad. 228. I meant to say 228. Now up 228%. There we go. 228. 228. 228. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Woo! Trocomania said BCG is at 316. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at BCG. Let's see how it's doing. Let's give BCG some love. Let's give BCG some loving. All right, some sweet loving. There we go. BCG. Let's take a look. All right. BCG broke above the 313 resistance line. Has to break above 334, which is where the VWAP is. So, BCG broke the 313 resistance line. Broke the 313 resistance line. Needs to break the VWAP at 334 for it to really be schmexy to mya. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It has to break above that area. All right, but yes, it is moving back up. It's curling. It's curling off the descending wedge, which I like. I like that it's curling off the descending wedge. Let me put it up here. All right, I like that it's curling off that descending wedge. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens there. BCG curling off the descending. All right, curling off that descending wedge right there. Malcolm Rice Lambert asks, no, we don't do that here. We don't do that stuff, Malcolm. Nope. We don't do that stuff. So, let's see here. All right. So, that's what we got going on right there. That's what we got going on right there. All right. Let's get everything all set up here. All right. And yeah, there we go. All right. Wonderful. Okay. So, BCG, as of now, currently up 60%. Up 60%. Trying to climb towards that VWAP. Looking schmexy. But needs to break that VWAP to really be schmexy. You know what I mean? BCG now up 61%. BCG now up 61%. 61%. Climbing towards the VWAPA. There we go. Climbing towards the VWAP. The VWAP right there. That's what we got going on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So BCG climbing towards that VWAP. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 700. 700. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. All right. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let's see about RENX. Let's take a look at RENX. RENX has a 2 million float, 22 million volume. Let's take a look at it. Let's see what it's got going on right there. RENX has Q4 earnings announcement, which is unconfirmed before the market opened today. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. All right. Has to break the descending wedge right over here. Has to break the VWAP at 235 for it to really be schmexy to me, because it is testing the VWAP right now. RENX testing that VWAP. There we go. RENX needs to break the descending wedge, testing the VWAP at 235 right there. Needs to break that. Needs volume to break that, but it has 22 million volume, 2 million float, so it is 11 times more than that of the volume right there. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. All right. There we go. Yes, sir. Okay. All right. So as of now, RENX needs to break that descending wedge, needs to break the VWAP at 235 for it to really be schmexy to me. Let's get a share party going on. Let's get to 700. Oh, excuse me. Let's get to 800. 800, ladies and gentlemen. 800. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's see here. What about CYCN? Oh my. CYCN now 231%. Oh my. Yes, sir. There we go. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. All right. There we go. All right. Malcolm Rice Lambert asks, are you shorting these? I mean, if I was shorting these, I wouldn't be cheering for them to go up now, would I? All right. has a little bit of resistance right over here at 514. 514 right there. That's the resistance. But CYCN hit 231. 231. Yes, sir. 231 right there. Yes, sir. Want to win says BITF. Bet. We'll take a look at that in just a second. All right, let me just put it in for CYCN over here. CYCN. CYCN needs to break the resistance at 514 and the high of day at 530 right there. CYCN. All right. Shot up 231%. There we go. Shot up 231%. Yes, sir. There we go. All right. Let's take a look over here. All right. Oh, we got a couple of requests here. Hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. Alex says CYN breaking out once again. Cooking. Yes, sir. CYCN. Yes, sir. It is cooking. It's cooking. It's cooking, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Want to win asks for BITF. Let's take a look at BITF for want to win over there. BITF. Hello, brother. How you doing? How you doing, Alex? How are you doing? Want to win? Hope you guys are doing wonderfully. Okay. So, all right. Let's take a look over here. BITF. Now, BITF as of now, very choppy price action. Take a look over here. You got low volume on this stock. I can tell you right now, just by looking at it, low volume. All right, a lot of indecisive wicks here. A lot of barcoding movement over here as well. And just all over here. A lot of the circles right here, this is where I see a lot of just choppiness, right? And the barcoding is going up, then going back down, then going down, and then it's just staying here stagnant. And then it's moving up and down repeatedly over here. It moves down, moves a little bit up and then down again, up again, and then down. It just keeps on moving like that, right? So it's very barcoded and stuff like that. Let's take a look over here at the float. Float is 578 million, so it's very, very heavy in terms of float. The float is extremely heavy. Volume is unknown at this time, but I could tell you just by looking at it with the indecisive wicks, when it normally has indecisive wicks like this and has very choppy fluctuations like this in terms of price action and movement with the candles, that means normally that it's very low on volume. All right. Plus, with a very heavy float like 570, what was it, 579? I call it 579 because it is 578.8. Rounded up, it's 579. So 579 million float. Unknown amount of volume right now, but it looks like it is very low in terms of volume. That's a very heavy float. So as of now, the volume doesn't exactly have much to go on there. There's a lot of supply, which would be the float, but there's not much demand, which would be the volume. So as of now, because there's not much demand, it's very sporadic with its price action. So it's very, very choppy as of now. So right now, what you got here is BITF. Very choppy, needs volume. For it to really be schmexy to me, needs to break those indecisive wicks right there. BITF, choppy, needs volume to break the indecisive wicks for it to be so much schmexy to me. Choppy price action. Choppy price action and heavy float. And heavy float. Needs volume to break the indecisive wicks. Not looking too schmexy right now. That's what it needs to do right there. That's what we got going on BITF. All right, BITF. That's what we got going on right there. And that was that was the request right there. Let's take a look and see what else we got here. Hold on 1 second. All right. Now, let's get a share party, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to 900. Alex Martinez says, buy, sell all day long on this thing. Yeah, man. I mean, hey, look. I mean, as long as you're making your money, man. And I think UCAR just had a bit of a reverse split because it just shot up. On the scanner, it says here it shot up 1452, but honestly, that looks like it's a reverse split, truthfully.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
Very cheap stock.
Yeah, very cheap stock. So it's got a reverse split going on there. It's got a reverse split. All right. So that's what they got going on. That explains that. All right. So yeah, that happens. That happens from time to time when that goes down there. All right, want to win asks for BYND. Now, BYND is a meme stock. I get it a lot. People ask me about that stock. It's a meme stock. BYND has given up its prior loss. So Beyond Meat shares were trading lower after the company reported worse than expected Q4 financial results and issued Q1 sales guidance below estimates. So you got that going on right there. That's what we got going on right there. Okay, so as of now, has a lot of chop right here in terms of movement. So it's kind of barcodey a little bit over here as well. Very, very low on volume. We're going to take a look over here, see what the float and volume is. The float is now 449 million. Very heavy float. Again, this is a meme stock. It moves on meme hype normally. So as of now with this stock, again, meme stock. All right. Session volume is not showing. It's not showing any volume. It's not showing volume as of now. It probably has some, but not a lot. So when it has indecisive wicks like this, again, a lot of choppiness over here with these wicks. And when it shows choppiness and indecisive wicks like this, where they're like really flat like that, that means that it's low on volume. So as of now, BYND is very low on volume, has a heavy float, low volume. So BYND, as of now, BYND, heavy float, low volume. BYND, heavy float, low volume. Choppy price action, needs volume, a little bit of vitamin V there for it to really be schmexy to mya to stay above the VWAPA and remain and to be healthier. Yes, and to have a healthier movement and price right there. So BYND has that going on. Heavy float, low volume, choppy. So it needs volume, ladies and gentlemen. Needs volume for it to really be schmexy to me. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get a share party. Let's get to a nice little 900. All right. And let's see. Alex says, amazing. Hope you guys are making some money. Yes, sir. Yes, we are. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We getting paid. Stacks. It's Wednesday, man. You already know. You already know what time it is, Alex. I hope you're making a lot of money, brother. I hope you're making a lot of money. Like you made some money yesterday. Yeah, we know you made some money. We know you made some money yesterday. That's for sure. You know they got Money Monday. They got tons of money Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, right? And Wealth Builder Wednesday. There we go. Yes, sir. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comments section. So be sure to check it out because we pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We're just made different, and the early bird gets the cash. And if you want Wealth Builder Wednesday, well, then if you want the Wealth Builders, you get access to everything pertaining to the real-time alerts and scanners, plus extra content and other wonderful Wealth Builder exclusive items like a Wealth Builder exclusive chat and other things pertaining to that, as well as a Wealth Builder exclusive course material, which is excellent for educational learning and all sorts of other amazing things like that. And to top it off, Wealth Builder exclusive content, behind the scenes footage, scripts, etc., all that and more at the tip of your fingers, and even more Wealth Builders exclusive charts. So yeah, and scanners. So yeah, there we go. That's what we got going on. That is what we got going on. You got Tumultuous Tuesday. Hey, look, I call it Taco Tuesday, Alex. That's what I call it. I call it Taco Tuesday because I like me some tacos, man. I had tacos last night, matter of fact. So good. So good. All right, I'm just saying. Tacos, and I had some popcorn chicken. You know, I got to get the protein in, man. Got to get some protein in there. A little bit of protein, a little bit of starch there, you know, but you know, proteína, you know what I mean? Yes, sir. All right. And some shrimp, too. We had shrimp. We had shrimp, tacos, and some, chicken. Chicken. Yes, sir. All right. Jay asks for RENX. All right, RENX. Let's take a look at RENX and see what it's got going on right there. Let's see what's got going on. RENX, as of now, had a descending wedge earlier in the morning. Broke above the VWAP temporarily. All right. Had a bit of a pullback though right over here, but it did break above that VWAP temporarily. The VWAP is at 235. It is currently moving along the VWAP right now. So let's take a look over here. Bop right there. All right. Curled up right over here off the VWAP and then formed a little bit of a tiny pennant right off the regular pennant right here. So it's got that going on. It curled up above the VWAP, then pulled back down below the VWAP. So as of now, it is currently consolidated against the VWAP, has to stay above the VWAP at 235. So RENX, as of now, RENX curled off the pennant and above the VWAP before a slight pullback. Needs to remain above the VWAP at $2.35 right there, 235. That's where it is. So it has to remain above that VWAP. VWAP's currently at 235. Has to break above that for it to really be schmexy to me. But otherwise, it's going to be meh. And right now, it looks like it's pulling back a little bit. So, not looking schmexy right now. Not looking schmexy right now. Up 31%. Up 31%. Had some Q4 earnings that are unconfirmed before the market opened today. So, that's probably why it's pulling back a little bit. It needs those Q4 earnings. Otherwise, it's not going to do too well. So we'll see what happens there. We shall see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. 9 EMA is at 231. So right now it is just a little bit below the VWAP. If they get intersecting, the 9 EMA could curl up a little bit. That might be nice. But other than that, needs volume. Needs volume to really break above it right there. RENX has a 2 million float, 23 million volume. So the volume is excellent right now, but it could use some more volume love to break above that VWAP right there. Otherwise, you know how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a share party going. Let's get a share party going, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right, all right, all right. All right. RENX. There we go. Let's take a look and see what else we got going on here. What else we got? What else we got? Hold on, let me get some. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, if you got requests, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Put it in the chat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's take a look and see what we got going on over here. What do we got going on right here? All right. Somebody requested MASK. Mask ran up yesterday. We'll see what goes on with it today. But right now, today, it's down 1%. 1% right now. 1%. All right. So as of now, it's at $2.23 and has a VWAP at 226. It is below the VWAP as of now. Not looking too schmexy in terms of volume. Let's see what the float's going on there. Float is a bit heavy at 19.5, a call 20 million. Volume is a nice 918,000. So as of now, the volume is not even close to as much as the float. That means it's very low volume as of now. Not looking too schmexy. Had a nice run yesterday, but as of now, not looking too schmexy there. Let's take a look over here. Let's get this graffiti pencil activated and show that there is some chop right here. Some choppiness over here and over here. That is where the indecisive wicks are, which tells me everything I need to know. There is more indecisive wicks here and a lot of barcoding. Well, not really barcoding per se. It's more just consolidation right along the VWAP right over here. So as of now, MASK, low float, well, actually heavy float, low volume. MASK, low volume. No, low volume right there. Needs to break above. Needs volume to break the choppy price action. And the VWAP at 220, is it 226? Excuse me, 226. At 226 has to break above the VWAP at 226 for it to really be schmexy to mya. Let's see here. So asked for DEFT, DEFT, please. Oh, sure, most definitely. Most def. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look over here. Let's get a share party going on, by the way. Let's get to 1100, 1100, 1100, 1100. Yes, sir. Yes, sirree. Let's get it. All right, one sec. All right. All right, one second over here. Let me just put this up here. All right. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look at DEFT. DEFT, let's take a look. All right, so DeFi Technologies. DeFi Technologies did have a nice run off this little tiny cup and handle over here. Had a tiny little cup and handle over there. All right. Bot right there. All right. Has since formed a bit of a resistance line right over here at the 83-cent mark right here. And it looks like it's pulling back, right? So it had a bit of that going on right there. Now it looks like it could potentially be, let's get rid of this here. Let's get rid of this here. Now it looks like it could potentially be a shoulder, head, and shoulder bear pattern now. Looks like it's hitting the shoulder, head, shoulder, bear pattern now, and is falling below the VWAPA right there. All right, little bit of a head and shoulders going on over here. DeFi Technology shares are trading higher after the company reported a year-over-year increase in preliminary fiscal year 2025 revenue results. Also, the company reported a year-over-year increase in the preliminary Q4 revenue results. So they got that going on right there. But right now, it is forming a bit of a head and shoulders, ladies and gentlemen. It is forming a head and shoulders. So that's what we got going on. That is what we got going on right there. Hold on 1 second. Boom. There we go. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Let's see here. So, DEFT as of now, DEFT forming a head and shoulders bear pattern, falling below the VWAPA. Can it curl and break that 78-cent line? It looks like it's trying to. 78-cent resistance on the VWAP. Let's see what happens with it, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like it's curling above that 78 a little bit. There's a little bit of resistance at the VWAP there, so it's got to break above that for it to be schmexy to me. All right, but it is forming a bit of a head and shoulders bear pattern, so we need to see what goes on there. Need to see what goes on there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Let's get a share party, share party, share party. Let's get to 1200, ladies and gentlemen. 1200, 1200, 1200. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Let's go. All right, looks like it broke above the 78-cent resistance line right there, at which is where the VWAP is. Now it's curling above that. It's now 79 cents. There we go. Needs to stay above the VWAP, though. Needs volume to stay above the VWAP. DEFT needs volume to stay above the VWAP right there. DEFT broke the VWAP. Needs volume to stay that way right there. Needs volume to stay that way, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see what happens, though, with it. We'll see what happens with DEFT. DEFT. Let's see what other requests I got going on over here. What other requests we got? Let's see. Let's see. Somebody requested. Hold on. Ooh. Somebody requested UCAR. All right. UCAR. UCAR. As of now, not looking schmexy right now. It looks like it had a bit of a reverse split. It does look like it had a bit of a reverse split going on there. So as of now, that's what's got going on right there. But it's really very, very not looking schmexy right now. Let's see if it has any float. The float as of now is 20.9 million. Unknown volume as of now, but I think it looks safe to say that the volume is pretty low on this stock right here. It did have a nice movement upward a little bit. Had a nice move upward over here, and then a bit of a pennant forming right here. Needs to break above this pennant for it to really be schmexy to me, but other than that, It is currently moving along the VWAP right now. It needs to break above the VWAP at 56 cents. Needs to break above the pennant as well. So as of now, UCAR needs volume to break the pennant and the VWAP at 56 cents. Looks like it just broke above the VWAP a little bit there. Needs to stay above it there. Now it's 58 cents. Looks like it's trying to test that pennant right there. Let's see what goes on. Hopefully it breaks above it. Let's see what goes on there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what goes on there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's see what else we got here. What else we got? What else we got? Let me add them. Let me add them. All right. Let's take a look at RENX again. RENX. Somebody requested RENX. All right. And of course, I know Jay requested RENX as well. Let's see how RENX is doing. It's still consolidated along the pennant, or excuse me, along the VWAP right here. So right now, it's still consolidated along the VWAP. RENX still consolidated along the VWAP. Needs to break above 235, ladies and gentlemen. RENX still consolidated along the VWAP. Needs to break the 235 resistance line, which it looks like it's trying to break right now for it to really be schmexy to me. All right, has to break above resistance on the VWAP at 235. It's now 238. Can it be curling? Is it curling right now? Maybe. We'll see what happens. Maybe there's a curl there. We'll see. CYCN trying to curl as well. It's up 213%. Had a high of 231. So we're going to see what happens there. But RENX, as of now, trying to curl above the VWAP. Needs to remain above the VWAP there. It needs volume to remain above the VWAP. Because it's going up above it, and then it's pulling back below it, and it's doing that right there. So that's what's got going on. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 1400. 1400, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. All right. Let's see. Let's take a look at CYCN a little bit, see how CYCN is doing, because it looks like it curled a little bit. Looks like it curled back up a little bit. Could it potentially break above the high a day? Maybe. We'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens. We take a look over here. All right, hold on 1 second. All right. All right, so as of now, A to B, B to C, could it potentially be an ABCD pattern? Maybe. It's possible. It did go up as high as 517 right there, so it could potentially do it. Yeesh. All right, so as of now, CYCN looks like it could potentially be an ABCD pattern, possibly, maybe. We'll see what happens there. Possible ABCD pattern on CYCN. Can it curl? And can it break that high day at 530? Let's see. We'll see. CYCN. Possible. Potential ABCD pattern. ABCD pattern. Can it break the high of day, which is also another resistance right there, at $5.30. We'll see what happens. It tested it before. It could do it again. We'll see. All right. Xanathan says, did you cover DEFT yet? I just got in. Yes, I did cover DEFT. I'll cover it again for you. All right. There we go. That's what we got going on right there. All right. So let's take a look at DEFT again. DEFT. All right. Looks like it's curling up above the VWAP there. It had a bit of a head and shoulders, but I think it might have been maybe a false alarm. I'm hoping it was. All right. I'm hoping it was, because it just broke above that little VWAP area right there at 78 cents. And it looks like it's curling its way on up slightly there. DeFi Technology shares are trading higher after the company reported a year-over-year increase in preliminary fiscal year 2025 revenue results, and also the company reported a year-over-year increase in the preliminary Q4 revenue results right there as well. So we have that going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. Yes, sir. Now, has to break above this little bit of resistance that it's showing right over here at 79 cents. All right, because it broke above the VWAP. It did break above the VWAP, thankfully, but it has to break above the 79-cent resistance line right there. So, has to do that right there for it to really be schmexy to me. Otherwise, You know how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. DEFT needs to break above the resistance line right here at 79 cents for it to really be schmexy to me. All right. Needs to remain friends with the trend for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. There we go. There we go. That's really what you got going on for DEFT. Let's get some support and resistance lines for it. I'll get some support and resistance lines for it right here. Has to break above that little resistance at 79 cents. Has to break above 80, then 82. Then it had some resistance at 83 and then 85 right all the way at the top over here, which is where the high day is. So it has to break. It has like ways to go, really. It has ways to go. So we'll see what goes on there. We shall see what goes on there for DEFT. DEFT. Let's get a share party going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to 1500. 1500. Let's get it. All right. We have just 4 minutes till the bell. The bell. It deafens me. CYCN. What's CYCN doing? Oh, yeah, baby. ABCD pattern. I called it right there, huh? Yes, sir. CYCN ABCD pattern. Had it going on right there. Hold on. Let me refresh this. Because I know it went above 254. There we go. 254. 255. There we go. 257. There we go, right there, 257, ladies and gentlemen. 257% CYCN, ABCD pattern. Hit the ABCD pattern and broke the high of day. Now up 260%, 260, right there. Yes, sir. Called it, baby. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Hit that new high a day at 558 right there. Oh my. Hold on. Let me get it. Actually, excuse me. There it is. 564. 564 is the new high a day. Excuse me. 564. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Hit that high a day at 260% right there. 260%. 260% right there. CYCN has to break that 564 resistance line, which is the high a day right there. Has to break above it right there. Bada binga. Bada binga. There we go. Nice little ABCD pattern right there. Yes, sir. All right. CYCN. CYCN new high of day at 564. Looks like it's trying to test it a little bit. We'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens there. But CYCN's been moving and grooving right there. Moving and grooving and moving and grooving, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. CYCN testing that high a day at 564 right there. That's what's got going on right there. Yes, sir. There we go. There we go, baby. Woo! Woo! There we go. CYCN hit the high. Hit a high at 260% right there. Can it continue? Can it continue right there? Let's see what we got going on. Yes, sir. All right, there we are. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get a share party going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to 1600. 1600. The bell. The bell. It deafens me. All right. There we go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Woo! All right. CYCN. CYCN. All right. Let's see how it's doing. How's it doing right there? CYCN. Oh, my. CYCN. Looks like it hit a new high of day. Oh, my. 261. 298. 298. Let's go. Let's go. CYCN 298% right there. CYCN now hit a high at 298%. 298%. It smacked that high gently. All right, new high of day. New high of day. New high of day at $6.57. $6.57 right there is the new high of day for CYCN. CYCN new high of day at $6.57. $6.57. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. There we go. Woo. Ooh. All right. There we go. All right. 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 There we go. All right. Has to break there. Has to break it right there, man. Has to break that 298% line. Has to break 657 for it to continue to climb and be schmexy to mya. You know what I mean? Ooh. All right. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. There we are. Wow. Woo. Wowie, wowie, wow, wow. Okay. All right. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. All right. Hold on 1 sec. All right. All right. There we go. Whew. All right. Let's see here. What else we got here? What else we got? All right. Let's take a look. Let's take a look over here. RENX. Let's see how RENX is doing. RENX. RENX. Oh, my. RENX shot up like a rocket just now. Up 55%. RENX shot up like a rocket off the pennant. 62% now. 62% on RENX. RENX shot up like a rocket just now off the pennant right there. 62%. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. RENX shot up like a rocket off the pennant. Up 64% now. 64%. 64%. There we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Whew. There we go. Yeesh. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. There we are. Let's get some support and resistance lines for RENX. Let's get some support and resistance lines for it right here. All right. There we go. Boom. Right there. Has support at 266. Has to break 292 for it to really be schmexy to me. You know what I mean? For it to continue to be schmexy. Yes, sir. Has to remain friends with that trend right there. RENX has a 2 million float, 30 million volume right there. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Let's take a look, see how BCG is doing. How's BCG holding up? BCG, dropped. Not schmexy. BCG consolidated below the VWAP before a massive downturn right there. Not feeling schmexy about that stunk right there. Needs to break the downtrend right over here. BCG needs to break the downtrend. Not schmexy. BCG needs to break the downtrend and the VWAPA for it to be so much schmexy to me. BCG. Not schmexy. Not schmexy. Not schmexy. Needs to break that downtrend, BCG. All right. There we go. All right. Let's take a look at CYCN, see how it's doing. How's CYCN holding up? CYCN's pulling back a little bit. It is pulling back a little bit. It was overbought in the RSI, so yeah, pulling back a little bit. Has a bit of a resistance line right at 597. 597. Has to break resistance at 597, and then has to break the high of day at 657. So, as of now, CYCN needs to break the resistance at 597 and the high of day at 657 right there for it to really be schmexy to me. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let's get a share party going, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to 1800. 1800. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right. Whew. There we go. Looking good. All right. CYCN. Yeah, needs to break that resistance at 597 and the high of day at 657 for it to continue to be schmexy to me. All right. Up 282%. 291 now. Oh, my. 303. 303%. Ladies and gentlemen. 303%. CYCN now 303%. Now 303%. There we go. Oh my. Oh my goodness. Oh my gracious. Oh my gracious. Yes. Woo. There we go. Now up 303%. Pulled back towards the little resistance line right there. Pulled back towards the resistance line, but hit 303 before it went back down a little bit. It pulled back a little bit, you know what I mean? A little bit of pull backage. It be like that sometimes. All right. Ooh. There we go. CYCN. 303%. Percenta. 303%. Yes, sir. All right. All right. Let's see here. Cyclerion Therapeutics shares are trading higher again after the company announced it's entered a definitive merger agreement with Corsana Biosciences. So they got that going on right there. Looks like it's climbing back up a little bit. It's trying to curl. Can it continue to curl, baby? 310! 310! Oh, it's pulling back a little bit more. 310, though. It hit that high at 310. New high at 310 right there. CYCN, 310%. Oh, my. Now it's pulling back a little bit. CYCN, new high at 310% right there. 310% right there. Boom. All right. Whew. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for me. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, folks. Sharing is caring. And, of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We're just made different. And the early bird gets the cash, ladies and gentlemen. The moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right there, ladies and gents. Oh, my. Hold on. CYCN has a new resistance right over here at 632. Oh, my. 325. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gracious. It doesn't want me to leave. Oh, my. Oh, my. Oh, my. Oh, my. Oh, my. 325% on CYCN. 339. 339%. New high a day. $6.84. 332. 338. Yes, sir. All right. 338. Look at that. 344. 347. Oh, my gracious. 370. 374. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, boy. CYCN 374. 374. Oh, my. I think it halted. I think it halted a little bit. I think it halted. Oh, my. CYCN halted up. 374%. 374%. Yeesh. $374%. I think it just halted.
Oh!
What happened?
$7.35.
Yeah, $7.35. Had resistance at 738. It hit 374%. Oh my.
Oh my gracious.
Oh my gracious. I think it halted though. I think it halted.
It did.
Oh my.
It did.
Ha!
I tell you.
Jeez. Wow. Okay. There we go. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring. And, of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out, because we pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, and the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, remember to check out our 4-day trial for the real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. The link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, so be sure to check that out, because we pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, and the early bird gets the cash, like I always say. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. All right. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, you can find us on our YouTube channel at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. Be sure to give it a like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. Remember to share, because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring. And, of course, again, ring the bell icon, man. Stay notified when new videos are uploaded there. Be sure to check us out on our X.com as well, at Coaching Money, where we do lots of stock reviews, stock analysis, and live streaming there as well. And to top it off, ladies and gentlemen, we do a lot of cool stuff. Like, for example, we just chill, and we do just chill there. You know what I mean? So be sure to give us a like, a retweet, and a follow, a repost, and a follow right there on our lovely X.com. Be sure to check us out on Twitch at Coaching Money, where we do lots of live streaming there as well. Be sure to give us a follow on there, subscribe there as well. All right, do all that cool stuff. And, of course, be sure to check us out on our Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. Be sure to check us out there as well, where we do lots of stock review and analysis right there. So be sure to give us likes on there. Be sure to follow us on there. Be sure to show us some love all over there, and, share that too. And to top it off, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check us out on our TikTok, Tiki-Taki, a.k.a. the Tac Tac. The Tac Tac. You can find us there at DBL Nicks. At DBLNICKS, and the screen name is Coach Nick Money. So be sure to check us out there as well, ladies and gentlemen. We do lots of stock reviews and stock analysis there as well. Lots of shorts and cool stuff there as well. So be sure to give us a follow there. Be sure to heart our stuff there. Be sure to repost it. Be sure to show it some love, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Love. All right. So that's pretty much it for me. All right. Quick thing before we wrap up. If you've been watching and you are serious about small caps, Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to sit on the outside trying to piece it together. We got a 4-day full access pass for $9.99, and it's full access, ladies and gentlemen. So you come inside, you actually get to see how we operate live, how we structure trade ideas, how we map our levels, how we think about risk, how we handle momentum. You'll get the next day early watch list right over there. You know what I mean? You get the next day early watch list as well as the 24/7 market news flow, which you're actually seeing right now on the right-hand side of the screen. Has all sorts of hyperlinks to the article, little synopsis of said article, as well as hyperlinks to the tickers that are affiliated with the news within said article. So you got that going on as well. So you can click on those little hyperlinks and get more information, ladies and gentlemen. It's a wonderful research tool. And to top it off, you get pre-market, regular hour, and after-hour scanners, all right, with float, volume, catalyst context built right in. You get the ticker, price, volume, float, change in percentage, whether it went up or down, the time in which it was scanned, and also some hyperlinks to learn more about the stocks we're keeping an eye on our scanner. All right. It's a wonderful research tool there as well. All right. And of course, you get access to our ticker tape built to catch stocks when they're just starting to heat up and before they go parabolic, with hyperlinks as well. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we don't do noise, we do structure around here. So if that's how you want to approach this market, grab that 4-day pass, come see it live. Link is in the description down below, as well as the pinned comments section. And when you come in, let us know you saw us on the stream. We'd love to hear it. We'd love to hear about it. So that's what we got going on. Much love, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day. It's Double Nicks. I love you guys. I love you. And I'll see you later on for Power Plays, which is hosted by the legend himself, Coach Nick Money, as he traverses the stock market prior to Power Hour and shows and takes a look at the stocks, gives his honest review and analysis of the stock market, and then lets the stock simmer on high heat, lets them simmer a little bit while he goes and does some Fortnite, gets some dubs for the community right there. So be sure to check him out. That's Power Plays. You're going to be able to find it on our YouTube channel, our X.com, and our Twitch at Coach Nick Money. At Coach Nick Money. At Coach Nick Money. Yes, sir. All right. And of course, yeah, you're going to be able to find it there, doing all that wonderful stuff right there. So that's what we got going on right there. So yeah, be sure to show him some love as well, because Coach is going to be playing that at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, be sure to check him out there. It's Double Nicks. I love you guys. I'm here with the lovely Serengeti specialist herself. She likes to hang around the tall weeds, the high trees, the low seas, hitting them high knees. Sometimes she likes 2 cups of coffee. Other times she likes to jet ski. Other times she likes to regular ski. Other times she gets shot out the cannon and she goes, whee! Other times she likes to party and go to Arby's and watch videos of puppies and kitties. Other times she likes to go into the stock market and she'll find them ABCDs. After all, she did call some wonderful stocks like CYCN, DEFT, and BCG. We call her DBL Moms. And that's what we got going on right there. That's what we got going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, much love. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day. And peace.